In today's episode, we'll be following Lex Veldhouse on high-stakes poker with blinds of 500, 1,000, a straddle of 2,000, and an ante of 300. In this game, the action starts when all players fold pre-flop except for Doyle Brunson, who calls the straddle from the big blind. Lex sees that there's 6,900 in the pot, so he tries to pick up the pot with a raise to 11,000. But Doyle knows that a lot of the time Lex is capable of raising with air, so he calls. Now on the flop, Lex hit a pair of twos. He can bet, and if Doyle didn't connect with the board, he'll fold. But he decides to check behind, and it seems like the purpose of this check is for a few reasons. The first reason is trying not to make the pot very big with just bottom pair, where his other card can complete a straight draw but only a runner-runner flush. The second reason is that if he gets called on this flop, it will be by a better hand. And the third reason is if he does get raised, it will be that much harder for him to call. The turn brings a jack of diamonds, and Doyle leads out with a big bet of 20,500 on a 24,900 pot. So the question is, why is Doyle betting so much if he thinks that Lex missed the flop after checking behind him? If Doyle had a jack-2 pair or better, or even a pair with a straight draw, it seems like he would bet less. This big bet seems more for some kind of draw like 2 diamonds or a gut shot. So with that in mind, and coupled with the fact that Lex has a pair and position, he called. On the river, a 4 of clubs shows up, and Doyle bets 60,000 on a 65,900 pot, which is again a very big bet relative to the pot. And the question once again is why? Obviously, if Doyle bet the turn with a gut shot like 5-7 and hit the nuts on the river, he knows that if Lex has a 5, he'll call that big bet. But after checking the flop, it doesn't seem that Lex can represent a straight, since in these big cash games, there's a bigger chance that Lex will bet on the flop with a gut shot draw than with a bottom pair. So what can Doyle have with this big bet? It doesn't seem likely that Doyle had 4-3 or 4-2, or he would have probably folded to Lex's raise pre-flop. If Doyle had 2 pair or better, or even 6-5, it doesn't seem very likely that he'll bet big on the turn like he did. If Doyle had a jack, he would most likely check now instead of betting. So it looks like Doyle could only have 7-5, 8-5, ace-5, or he's simply bluffing. And it's more likely that with this big bet that it's a bluff, because Doyle knows from the flop that Lex doesn't have a big hand. So this is why Lex called.